Although they did an impressive job of getting the P. Diddy super PAC on their side, at the end of the day, the ultimate difference between Democrats and Republicans is that the Democrats will piss on your head and tell you it's raining, and the Republicans will piss on your head and call it trickle-down economics. The Democrats abandoned the working class. Hello, my friends, this is Caesar. I want to do a little election postmortem, if you will, to dissect what happened in the American election. I'm sure at this point things have already been talked about essentially to death. Ironic for a postmortem video. But I thought this fireside chat would be useful to go through things from our perspective. Namely, from we the people. I've been hearing too much from the pundit class, the puppet corporate media. These are the same people, the mouthpieces of the elite in the corporate media, who have been wrong about essentially everything. Who have been wrong about policies and the way they've affected the workers, the way they've affected us, the common people. They've been wrong about the facts, or should I say they've been more interested in perpetuating fake news from their masters, perpetuating lies and trying to gaslight us into believing everything has been fine when we're the ones suffering the consequences that they can't even see from their ivory towers. And they were wrong about the election, how close it was going to be, who's going to support who. And now these same pundits who were wrong are trying to tell us what went wrong for the Dems. How did the Democrats lose, and so badly? So today I want to give my perspective. Some of these points you may have already heard, some of them you haven't. But let's get into it, shall we? First of all, I would say that even though I've seen some people defending the Democrats, saying they did not campaign on woke ideas, the fact is we have not forgotten years of wokeism. Of putting DEI, woke ideas, and identity politics above everything else. Years of culture wars, cancel culture, putting essentially identity politics over merit for everything, as well as alienating young men by blaming them for all of the world's problems when clearly they had nothing to do with it. Blaming any one group like that as a blanket was obviously going to turn them against you. The fact of the matter is that while people are struggling and suffering, the last thing we want to hear about is who should be using what bathroom, or having men in women's sports. These aren't ideas that are going to move us forward, and pushing this stuff on we the people was only ever going to turn those with common sense against you. But they pushed these ideas and pushed them, telling us what to be offended by, what to support, what to believe, and what to be afraid of. Another point being right there, they were too busy talking at us, talking down to us. They claim to represent the people, which neither party does, and yet they are more busy lecturing. Say what you will about Trump, but he talked to the people, while the Democrats and Harris talked at the people. And none of us want to be talked down to. We have our own struggles and our own fears that clearly they don't understand. On top of that, one thing I would like to bring up is a pattern of what I call denial politics. Now, politicians have always denied things that they've been involved in. This goes back all the way to the beginning. Yet I don't think I have ever seen the amount of denial politics going on under the current Biden-Harris administration. Everything that has gone wrong, they've dodged the blame like the Matrix. The borders, they're not open. The borders are secure. The economy's doing great. You're suffering under inflation. No, you're not. It's getting better and inflation's transitory. Crime's not a problem. Pay no attention to the fact that trying to get anything out of a local pharmacy or drugstore is like trying to get a safety deposit box out of a bank that's under so many locks. Pay no attention to the gangs, increasingly foreign ones, who are occupying buildings and exploiting the common people, while the police and politicians in those areas continue to pretend that there is no such problem and it's all a fiction. The lies and the gaslighting. The jobs, a great jobs report came out, and yet the pay is nothing. And here in a week or two, we'll quietly amend down that jobs report, and you definitely won't see a report about that in the media. We are not stupid. We the people are not fools. We know we are suffering and being lied to about it. And what did they put forward? What did the Democrats stand for? Who did they put forward claiming to stand for we the people? Weak, spineless Dems put up weak, spineless candidates. Is there any reason why Harris would do something different than Biden? Nothing comes to mind. I'm sure that line would go for a lot of politicians. Because unless they're told what to think and what to do, probably nothing comes to their mind. All this not even mentioning the weak and disastrous foreign policy of the Biden-Harris administration, which has not only left the U.S. looking extremely weak, but has allowed for U.S. funds and equipment to be openly misused, misallocated, a blank check given, and nothing really given in return except for defiance of requests that should be seen as an ultimatum on that support. Really makes you wonder if they're not doing what they're being asked to do with all that funds. Why does the money keep flowing? Is it because some of it's coming back into the pockets of those politicians? Mixed into all this has been the overused and abused tactic of when you have no other argument, just throw around some scary words. Far right, fascism, socialism, communism, both sides have been throwing around these terms like it's nothing. To the point that now these words have absolutely no meaning, and they are completely worthless in the face of the lies and abuses of the system that go far beyond what triggers the use of these words half the time these days. They're thrown around so much that I myself have personally been called every single one of those, at various times by various people, sometimes by the same people. They hold no meaning to me anymore, nor do they hold meaning to anyone else. What do we care about? We care about policy and results. We care about the fact that we're suffering and struggling in this economy while the rich continue to get richer off of our backs. The top 1% rule everything, and the rest of us are struggling paycheck to paycheck, knowing that our future generations, our children, may likely have a lower standard of living than we had. And unless we take action, nothing will get better from the political class. And yet when faced with all of this and having no true argument, the Dems resorted to simply throwing around scary words. The fact of the matter is, the Democrats abandoned the working class. They used to say they were the party of the working class and the unions, yet who has done more to put down the unions? Who has done more to weaken the working class in the last few years? Those abuses, those oppressions, that exploitation came from the establishment, whose head has been Democrats. Not that the Republicans are any better. Both parties are parties of the rich and the elites. And as for Trump himself, we'll see how much he walks his talk. Whether or not he'll stand for the people and actually get something done, or if he'll serve the elites. And I am sure that we the people, including those who supported and voted for him, will hold him to account if he does not stand for we the people. And regardless, we will continue to organize in Rubicon for we the people's future. But let's get back to the task at hand. The Democrats abandoned the working class, and it should come as no surprise that the working class abandoned them. To paraphrase Bernie Sanders there. They no longer speak for the working class, they've been the mouthpiece of the elite for a long time, the fact of the matter being that both parties are servants of the elite. At the end of the day, the ultimate difference between Democrats and Republicans is that the Democrats will piss on your head and tell you it's raining, and the Republicans will piss on your head and call it trickle-down economics. Meanwhile, we're still in a drought, barely surviving. And they are not helping us with that trickle. The Democrats also did a great job of using outdated methods like door-knocking campaigns that no one wanted to answer and going back to the same house a few times just to make sure the harassment was complete. And every time they brought out one of their celebrity friends to do an endorsement, who were kind enough to come down from their ivory tower and pretend to understand we the people for a few hours, which they obviously didn't, that just showed one more disconnected person and one more reason why no one should support them. Although they did an impressive job of getting the P. Diddy super PAC on their side, considering that they had a steady parade of his party attendance and guest list. I wonder how they all ended up so cozy together. Does boggle the mind. Maybe they just wanted his oil. It is the way of the US government, after all. And the last point I'd like to bring up here is the continuing peddling of the message of democracy. Democracy. We need to defend democracy. Democracy is under threat. First of all, those who have done more to harm democracy than anyone has been the government itself, who have stifled free speech, increased mass surveillance and incarceration, and have cracked down on all of their opponents and have weaponized the system against their opponents. But on top of that, the core message itself is just wrong. Democracy is under threat. Democracy has been worthless to us, to we the people. What good has democracy done for the common people? Has our livelihood increased? Do we have a livable wage? Do we have health care that's available for all without life-altering, crippling debt? Do we have guaranteed access to the basics of life, like food, water, and shelter for all citizens, while still being able to strive for more? No, we don't have those things. We are struggling, we are suffering, we are barely getting by, while the rich get richer and the wealth gap widens to unprecedented levels, and all hope of changing it disappears within the system. Democracy has done nothing to stem that, only to make it worse. Why? Well, because the elections have been controlled by the rich, by the upper class, buying out elections with campaign finance laws that are laughable. Pelosi coming out and say that the Democrats have not abandoned the working class is hilarious, considering how much money she's made from stock market insider trading that would get anyone else arrested. But it's not considered insider trading for them, is it? The political class don't have to worry about that like we the people do. All the bribes and all the favors? Oh, it's not bribery. It would be in any sane society. The lobbying, the favors they're given, vacations, lobbying jobs of their own after retirement, or jobs for their family and friends. They don't make that much in Congress, and yet they all leave multimillionaires. How did that happen? It should come as no surprise at all, my friends. And this left Trump as the only candidate who was offering any kind of solutions to the common people, talking about bad blood, the enemy within, making changes to the system. And this left Trump as the only choice for many voters. At the end of the day, the ultimate winner of the popular vote was really did not vote, because the majority of eligible voters saw that neither party, neither the Republicans or the Democrats, stands for them or their interests, and stayed out of it. What I will say here at the end is this. Other than Trump, who we will keep an eye on, we will see if he walks his talk and stands for the people or becomes a servant of the elites in office. What I would say to the Democrats who have lost hope, to those on the left who have seen things aren't working, don't go back to the Dems. Yes, I know you're stuck in the familiarity. It's the easy way. There's that sunk cost fallacy of all the effort and time you've put in. I understand that. The Democrats are going to try to reform their image and adopt a new message going forward to try to win people back. And yet politicians like that, they're a lot like an ex, a very crazy, manipulative, and abusive one, who now comes back into your life after some time, looking a little better and saying they've changed, putting on a good show for you. It might be easy to fall for it, for some, but you need to be strong enough to realize they're an ex for a reason and don't go back. The same is with the politicians. The Democrats are now your ex, and you don't want to get back in bed with them, because they will continue screwing you in the worst ways possible, especially considering that P. Diddy super PAC. But all jokes aside, the way is not back but forward. Whether you would call yourself left, right, or against both parties, move forward in a new way, outside the system, outside of their methods of controlled opposition, of controlled democracy, of the lies of their system that have kept us down. Move forward with us in Rubicon, move forward in any way you can. Because only together are we going to make sure that it is we the people who triumph, not the elites. Tomorrow belongs to us, brothers and sisters. What we care about is not who is in office or which party, but about getting things done for we the people. That is why we are, in Rubicon, what I call and have termed people's nationalists. We believe that there must be a nation for we the people, that puts the people first. And we have not seen such a nation, such a system or government yet, that truly stands for us. And we believe that system must be established from the hands of the people. It will not come from above, but from us. Thank you for joining me for this little election postmortem. It's a different kind of fireside chat, as I do all of these unscripted. This was a lot to go over. But if there's any points you feel that I missed, please comment below, and perhaps I'll do another video on them or on other topics. Thank you for joining me today, my friends, and I hope to see you next time. Please like and subscribe for more. Also, follow me on X at Erebus_Caesar, just in case this channel is taken down, or if there are any updates, announcements, or posts I might make. Until next time, this is Erebus Caesar. Out.